Welcome to Control Systems lecture. In today's lecture, we are going to talk about the practical examples which are there in control system. How can we demonstrate if we are going to take a DC motor and we'll be able to demonstrate how you can find out the overall transfer function for any machine in that case by having the knowledge of the various equations which govern that machine. So that will give you a greater insight about the practicality of control systems, and you'll be able to understand how these practical systems, they can, the block diagram for it can be made through the equations. Okay, so you are pretty familiar with DC motors. You already know what are the how it works, but I'm going to quickly tell you the basics of it. So any DC machine, actually you can say constructionally generators and motors, they are same. It will have one stator part and it will have a rotor part. So for a motor, the process is that you give supply. Okay, supply, electric supply is given, and it actually converts your electrical energy into a mechanical energy. So if we want to talk in terms of control systems, then we can say that we have a system, and then in control system you always say that there is a black box, and then there are two important things. So one is key, what is the input, and the other is that what is the output. Okay, so you give the input signal, and you want the desired output. Here you can understand that in the motor system, when you are having a motor system, then the input is your electrical energy and the output that you derive from it is the mechanical energy. So motor will give you mechanical output, rotational, and in the previous lectures I have already told you that we can have translational mechanical systems or rotational mechanical systems. So in case of motors, obviously the output is that we are talking about right now, in like in case of DC motors, we are talking about rotational mechanical system. Okay, um, so talking about the motor, what is there in the motor? It will have a stator part and a rotor part. But in terms of armature and field circuits, if we want to say, then we know that we have a field circuit which gives the magnetic, which generates the magnetic flux, and then due to the electrical supply that we give to the armature circuit, there is an armature current, and due to that armature current, another flux will be generated, that will be known as the armature flux. And whenever in that sense, any for torque to be produced, it is essential that there must be two fluxes, and these two fluxes should interact with each other, and they should be displaced phase wise, they should be displaced. Okay, so for any motor, if you want that torque has to be developed, then always it's essential that there should be existence of two fluxes, and these two fluxes should be displaced in phase. So it can be phi 1 and phi 2, we can call them, and the interaction of due to these two fluxes, the torque is developed. So in case of motors also, we know that from the field side we have field flux, from the armature side we have the armature flux. These two fluxes, they basically interact with each other, and hence a motor torque is generated. And that motor torque, when that motor torque is generated, it is used to supply for the load. Okay, so we'll have any load, DC load can be connected to this motor system, and that can be driven by this motor through the shaft. So the equivalent circuit for any DC motor, any DC machine, it is yeah, it can be shown as is shown over here. So we basically represent the armature circuit with the input, supply input as Vn, and then for armature circuit we say that it will have some armature resistance Ra, some inductance La, and then there will be a back EMF Eb. Okay, In the field side we have the field circuit, so for that we have the supply field supply input as Vf, due to which If current will flow through the circuit, and this current will generate, due to this current, flux phi f will be generated. So we can say that flux is caused due to this current, and hence we also say that this flux, field flux, is actually directly proportional to If, or I can say, if I remove this proportionality sign, then we say that phi f is equal to kf into If. Okay. So a current carrying conductor, if it's placed in a magnetic field, then it will experience a torque. That is a basic fundamental principle governing your electric motor. And the equations, the basic equations for motors, you already know that first equation is regarding your torque. Your torque will be proportional to flux 1, that is field flux, and armature current, we call it like this. So always your torque is proportional to field flux multiplied by armature current, or some places you also write it as, actually armature current means the field current field flux only. So your this torque will be directly proportional to field flux and to field current. That is the one major equation that you know. Another relation which is there, you can say, we can comment on the back EMF of your motor system. Back EMF is same as that what we learn in your generators. um, the generated EMF in your DC generators, that is the same thing, that with same formula, we in motors we represent it as back EMF. So your back EMF is actually this there is a formula for it. In case of generators, you say that it is equal to P, then N phi Z by 60 into A. So this is your formula for generated EMF in case of DC generators. Same thing is denoted as back EMF is in DC motors. So here P is the number of poles, which is a constant value. Then Z is the number of conductors, that is also again constant. 60 into A. A is the number of parallel paths, which again is a constant. So you can always establish a relation between this N and this phi. You can say that your back EMF is proportional to flux, that is, this is actually this flux, and the speed, or the RPM of your motor. So EB is directly proportional to, you can say that it's proportional to the speed, and it's proportional to flux. Okay. So these two are established equations in case of your DC motors. Now here you can see that I have written armature controlled DC motor. Okay, so what is this armature controlled DC motor? Well, we know that torque is directly proportional to phi f into Ia, interaction of two fluxes. So one flux will be field flux, another flux will be due to this armature current and armature flux. So torque is proportional to these two values. Okay. Now when I am talking about control systems means what? We have to control something in it. So we have an input, and the output is your mechanical output. So what is it that you want to control in case of motor? So either you want to control the speed, or you want to control the torque of your motor. That is the controlling aspect. So if I want to control this TM, yeah, if I want to control the motor torque, how can I do that? So that we can do that we can actually play with this relation. Here we can see that my motor torque is proportional to flux, field flux, and it's also proportional to my armature current or armature flux. So I can vary these two values. Okay, If I'm able to vary these two values, if I'm able to vary my field flux, or if I'm able to vary my armature current, then I can say that I can vary my torque. Okay, the output, that is the torque, this can be very easily varied. This is what is known as the controlling part. Okay, if I'm able to change something, if I'm able to control something, so I can control this, definitely I can. Now if I can, then what should I change both these values, or should I change only one of these values? So when I see this equation, we can say that yeah, either both of them can also be changed simultaneously, or I can, even if I change one of the values and keep the other value as constant, then also my motor torque will change, it can change. So what we do, it becomes very difficult to control if we change these two values simultaneously. So what we do, we actually change only one value and keep the other value fixed. So here when I write that we are talking about, when we are talking about armature controlled DC motor, that means that we are going to keep one of the quantities as fixed, and that quantity is going to be my field current. I'm going to change the armature. Okay, armature current we are going to change. So with the change in this armature current, we can change our torque value. That is the major that is the concept of armature controlled DC motor. It's pretty simple. You already know the equations, that what is torque, what is back EMF, and what are the equations. So you just have to establish the relations, and you have to find out. When we talk about transfer function, what is a transfer function? Transfer function is nothing but the ratio of Laplace of output by input. So here we were saying that my input is electrical energy or electrical power we are giving as the input, and the output is our mechanical energy. My electrical energy is converting into mechanical energy. So when we are talking about mechanical energy, my here we have denoted motor, and motor will be coupled with our load. So this part, this coupling with this load, this part is actually a mechanical part. And in the last lecture, if you have not seen that, please go through the lecture. In that we have told you that in case of mechanical rotational systems, we have various parameters, we can have various elements. So the elements can be inertia, the element can be viscous friction, the element can be your rotational damper system. Okay, and regarding each of these elements, you have the relation between torque and these elements, it has been established. Like in case of inertia, if you want to overcome the torque due to inertia, means that energy if you have to overcome, then for that you say that that energy should be equal to, that torque should be equal to j into d square theta by dt square. That is same as mass into acceleration in case of your linear or translational system. Okay, so here we have written this part, this mechanical part. We have mentioned that it can have some inertia value. So inertia is this J is actually representing the equivalent moment of inertia of motor and load referred to the motor shaft. Then we have a fixed viscous friction portion. So F is denoted as equivalent viscous friction of motor and load referred to the motor shaft. And here we have not taken the damping value, but in some of the cases we can take that also. So you already know the relation between the torque and these elements, it has been established, so that can also be incorporated. Alright, so our aim is to find out the, when we want to find out the transfer function, then the output will be the displacement. Okay, we have this load, and we are getting the mechanical output. And what is the mechanical output? The mechanical output is the rotation of this load. This is what is my mechanical output. And how can I depict that rotation of the output? We can depict it through this theta value. So this will be my output element or output variable. And what will be my input? Input is nothing but thing that we are giving as the input, the signal, and that input is my Vin. So Vin is the input that we are getting, the electrical input, and the output that we are getting is the rotation of the load through this motor, which is coupled, this load is coupled to this motor with a shaft. So that is rotating. That energy, it's converted into mechanical energy. Okay, how to move about it? So we know the relations, and we have to actually move from, we have to find out the relation between input and this theta value. Okay, so we'll just move step by step. First thing that we can see over here, that we are having this circuit, and here we can apply KVL. Okay, this is my armature circuit where IA current is flowing, and we know that my TA is this value is equal to, it's actually T is proportional to phi f into IA, and if I remove the proportionality, then we can write it as KA into phi f into IA, and we already know that phi f can be written as KF into IF, so I can substitute it over here. So my torque will be equal to KF into KA into IF into IA. And when we are talking about armature controlled DC motor, then it has been established that IF will be constant value. So actually over here, these three values will be constant, so I can substitute these three values, these three constants, as KT, and I can say that my TM is equal to nothing but KT into IA. Okay, this is one of the relations, that is my TM, this TM is what, this is KT into IA. So what is IA then? Okay, my torque, that is the mechanical torque, that is equal to KT into IA. But then what is IA? So IA we can derive from this KVL equation. If we find out the KVL equation, what will be KVL equation? This is the input Vn minus IARA minus L di by dt minus Cb, that will be equal to 0, right? So what is, can I find out the relation? This is definitely a differential equation, so in order to simplify it, we can take the Laplace transform for this equation. Taking the Laplace transform, we can get that I is equal to Vn minus Cb by Ra plus Ls. Okay, taking IA as common, you can easily find it out that IA becomes equal to this one, and I can actually represent it using the block diagram. Okay, here you can see we have I is written as Vin minus Cb divided by Ra plus Las. So Vin is one of the variables and Eb is again a variable quantity. Okay, so these two variables I can minus this, I have to minus this. In block diagrams, always when you have to add something or you have to subtract something, you introduce a summation sign. So here just look at this, what we have done, we have taken one input as Vn, another input as Eb, and we have the output of this summation point will be Vn minus Eb, and when this gets multiplied with this value, that is 1 divided by Ra plus La into S, then isn't it equal to IAS? Yes, it's definitely equal to IAS. So this equation, always your equations can be converted into block diagrams. So whenever you are having any equations, you just see that what are the variables and what are the constants value. Okay, and then you can form the block diagram using these equations. So this is the first thing, this is the second thing. First we have established that your Tm, that is the motor torque, is equal to Kt into Ia. Then what was Ia? Ia is equal to Vn minus Cb by Ra plus Ls. Now we can also establish from the output side. Output side, I have already, we can see there in the circuit that your mechanical output actually is having two terms, two elements we have shown. One is your inertia element and another is your friction element. So these values are related to your load side. Now what your motor has to do, what is the purpose of using that motor? So your motor actually has to drive the load. Okay, so whatever torque is required by load, okay, that much torque has to be provided by the motor. Motor torque should be equal to the load torque requirement. And what is the load torque requirement? Load torque requirement is that it should be able to, your motor torque should be able to uh, overcome this inertia, this component due to inertia and component due to this friction value. Okay, so again your all the torques means motor should be able to compensate for these values. So we can establish this equation that Tm will be equal to j d square theta by dt square plus f d theta by dt. Okay, again this is a differential equation. So in order to solve it easily, you just take the Laplace transform of it. If you take the Laplace, then the equation can be written as Tm will be equal to js square theta s plus fs into theta s. And from here you can establish, you already know that Tm is nothing but kt into Ia. So that we can substitute it over here. So from here you can establish another relation, and that is between your output theta s and your current IAS. Okay, so your IAS and theta s can be related from here, and IAS can be written as js square plus fs divided by kt into theta s. Again one more equation, can I convert this equation into block diagram? Of course we can. So from in this last block diagram that we made, you just see that we had two inputs, and then we gave it to this gain element, that this I call as gain element G1, and then the output was IAS. Now that same IAS, if that is fed to another gain element, and that gain element I am saying over here, it is equal to KT divided by J square plus FS. ठीक है, यहाँ पे थीटा एस की वैल्यू क्या होगी, के टी डिवाइडेड बाई जे स्क्वायर प्लस एफ एस मल्टीप्लाई बाई ए एस. फ्रॉम दिस इक्वेशन यू कैन फाइंड आउट. So if I multiply this as with this value, then the output is going to be my theta s. And what is theta s? This is the actually mechanical part. This is the mechanical output that I am getting. So from that block diagram we have moved to this block diagram. We can actually extend these two block diagrams. Okay, also we also know that the back EMF, that back EMF is actually proportional to flux into speed, or and in this case we have said that our flux is the field flux is constant. We have taken it as constant, so we can say that the back EMF will be actually proportional to your speed. And if we remove the proportionality, then we will get that back EMF will be equal to kb into omega, and omega is nothing but the first derivative of your theta, so it will be equal to kb into d theta by dt. Again taking Laplace transform of it, we can establish that eb is equal to kb into s into theta s. So from here we can say that if we multiply kb into s with theta s, theta s जो है, this was the output from this case. In this block diagram we got output as theta s. Now if I multiply theta s with kb into s, then what is the result? It is nothing but equal to eb into s. Alright, so you can observe that we are moving from input side, and we got IAS, then we got theta s, then we got EBS. And in the first block diagram we had EBS as the second input to the summation point. So we will see it in the final block diagram how these all can be related. So finally we can finally I have written this equation over here. From where has this equation emerged? This is nothing but the same equation, the same KVL equation of the motor. So what was the KVL equation for the motor? This was a motor. It was V in minus IARA plus IA LDI by dt minus CB equal to 0. So this was my equation. Okay, V in equal to RA into the first equation that we have written, V in equal to RA into IAS plus LAS into IAS plus EB. So we can take IA as common, and IA we have established in terms of theta. Also EB we have established in terms of theta, where here you can see we have written IA in terms of theta s, we have relation between IA and theta s, and also we have relation between EB and theta s. So we have substituted the value of IA and EB in the KVL equation, and from here we can say that the relation between my input voltage and output, that is mechanical output theta, it is established, and this is nothing but the overall transfer function of my armature controlled DC motor. Okay, and this is the complete block diagram of the armature controlled DC motor. How? The first block diagram we saw that one of the we actually wanted IA, so we have related all the block diagrams. I have connected all these block diagrams. So in the first block diagram we have seen that to the summation point there was one input as V in, another input was EB. Okay, this EB, this was the second input, and then we multiplied it with this constant, this gain, and we got IS. Then we established relation between IA and theta s. So I actually multiplied IA into this constant gain value, and then we got theta s, and then we established that if I multiply theta s with KBS, that will be equal to EBS, and EBS is required as the second input to my summation point. So we can complete this block diagram as this one, and if you want to find out the overall transfer function, you already know that you can see that this is looking like a feedback system. This is back EMF. बैक EMF का मतलब क्या है कि आउटपुट से कुछ इनपुट में आप फीडबैक कर रहे हैं. फ्रॉम हेयर वी कैन सी, यहाँ से यही इस्टेब्लिश हो रहा है कि आउटपुट से हम कुछ वैल्यू इनपुट में फीडबैक कर रहे हैं. ओके, so this will be my feedback path, this will be my forward gain. So I can say that multiplication of this and this, that is KT divided by RAS plus LAS into JS square plus FS, this will be my forward gain, this is my feedback gain. And for your negative control feedback system, the overall transfer function can be written as G is this multiplication of these two, and G divided by 1 plus G into H. So just find out what is the overall transfer function that you are getting from this block diagram, and whether that value and this value, whether they are same or different. If they are same, that then you can easily justify. This is through this equation we got through elimination point, like we हमने एक जगह देखा था कि हम कैसे कोई भी सर्किट दिया होता है उसमें से वेरिएबल्स को एलिमिनेट करते जाते हैं, जो भी बीच के वेरिएबल्स हैं. यू जस्ट वांट टू रिलेट इनपुट वैल्यू एंड आउटपुट वैल्यू. ठीक है, तो उसमें आप सब्स्टिट्यूट करते जाते हो और उससे आप निकाल सकते हो. एंड वी कैन ऑल्सो फाइंड इट आउट थ्रू दिस ब्लॉक डायग्राम ऑल्सो, वी कैन वेरीफाई इट. So this is your block diagram for your armature controlled system DC motor, and I think you are now, it will be clear to you that how practical systems they can be used, and how the how you find out the overall transfer functions, like we were deriving the overall transfer function using block diagram techniques. We were using variables like G, we were using actually values like G and G1 G2 H1 H2. So actually those are these parameters, okay, these elements that are contained in your control in any system, whether it's mechanical system or electrical system. So they compose these values and there is always some input, then you want to derive some output, and the overall transfer function you can now relate your DC motor in terms of control systems. Now in the we saw that uh, in previous example we saw that we actually took the we related torque equation. We varied the torque value by varying the armature current. But what if I want to make the armature current as constant, and what if I want to change the field current value, field flux, then also my torque will change. ठीक है, जो पहली चीज़ थी कि torque is proportional to field flux and armature flux, so we can either vary your field flux or we can vary the armature flux. There we varied the armature current, but what if I want to keep the armature current as constant, if I want to vary the field current, then also we'll have a control system. Then again we'll have some input, but this time my input, the varying input, will be from the field side. So again we have made this control system. Okay, we have again made this control system, equivalent value of control system, and here what we'll be doing, we'll be having this circuit, this field current circuit, and this field current circuit has to be established. With this field voltage, this will be my input thing. Okay, this is my input variable. Again my output is nothing but the mechanical output. So aim is that input electrical signal, it should the control signal should be generated, and that should be able to control my output. Okay, आप इनपुट में ऐसी चीज़ दे रहे हैं जो वेरी कर सके, वो सिग्नल वेरी कर सकते हैं, तो उसके मदद से हम आउटपुट को वेरी कर सकें. So the varying thing on the input side is my, it shifts from my armature circuit to the field circuit. So in the field circuit we can easily draw that for field circuit we'll have uh, uh, this supply voltage, we'll have some field resistance, we'll have some field inductance, and due to when we connect the circuit, then current IF will flow in the circuit. So the KVL equation for this field circuit will be VF is equal to IF into RF plus LF DIF by dt. Okay, if we take the Laplace transform of it, then we get the equation VF will be equal to IF into RF plus LFS into IFS. From here IF will be equal to VF by RF plus LF into S, and as this equation you can see that it is nothing but the input, supply input, that is a variable, multiplied by this gain. So my gain is equal to 1 by RF plus LF into S. So if multiply these two, then that will give me IF and IFS. Okay, another thing, definitely my torque is equal to KF into K into IF into IA, but here as we are controlling from the field side, hence we'll keep the armature side current as constant. So here you can see KF, K and IA, all these three values can be taken as constant, and we'll take it as KT, that is motor torque constant. Okay, and the equation, the mechanical equation, mechanical load side equation, that will remain same because it is having the same element, that is inertia element and the friction element. So the motor equation will remain same, that is Tm equal to Js square theta s plus Fs into theta s. Okay, so my KT into IFS, it will be equal to Js square plus Fs into theta s. From where I've got this? This Tm is nothing but equal to KT into IFS, KT into, if you take the Laplace of it. So I've substitute this value over here. Okay, if I substitute it over here, then we can establish relation between your theta s and IFS. ठीक है, थीटा एस की वैल्यू हो जाएगी इतनी. तो इफ़ आई एम हैविंग इनपुट करंट एज आई एफ एस, यहाँ देखो यहाँ आउटपुट क्या आया था आई एफ एस, अगर ये आई एफ एस में हम मल्टीप्लाई कर देते हैं के टी इंटू जे एस स्क्वायर प्लस एफ एस, देन यू गेट दी आउटपुट एज योर थीटा एस. Okay, and if I substitute if, this value of if from here, if I substitute, if can be written as j square plus fs into theta s by kt. If I substitute it in the KVL equation over here, if I can take if as common, so it will be RL plus RF plus LF into S. If I take that as common and if I substitute this IF value in this equation, then I can easily relate my input and the output. इनपुट वेरिएबल जिसको आप वेरी कर पा रहे हैं, जिससे आप आउटपुट को वेरी कर रहे हैं. ठीक है. सो the relation between output and input can be established, and the overall transfer function over here you can see it is kt divided by j square plus fs multiplied by rf plus lf into s. And then, like the previous example, we can relate these block diagram. From first block diagram we saw that we had input vf multiplied by some gain, we got if, and if if is again multiplied by this constant, this gain value, then we can get output as theta s. Here you can see that there is no feedback path over here. यहाँ पे कोई भी feedback loop type की चीज़ नहीं दिख रही है. So it's looking more and less like it's like your open loop system. And from here you can directly see that block diagram that we have made and the transfer function that we have over here, they are same. ये क्या है, इसका ट्रांसफर फंक्शन क्या होगा, these two gains are in series, so the multiplication of these two will give me the transfer function, that is theta s by vfs. Okay, so from this I think you might have understood the practice example of your DC motor, how you can relate it in terms of your control systems. कैसे आप कंट्रोल सिस्टम के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देख सकते हैं कोई भी ऐसी मशीन जिसमें कोई भी कंट्रोलिंग एलिमेंट